Hey, Professor Rapetti here. Happy New Year. Welcome to my welcome video, where I will kind of do here what I might normally do in an actual class on campus on the first day, which is just kind of overview everything. So first day on campus, I might go through everything on the syllabus, but I'll mention the syllabus and some things about it. In fact, that reminds me, just take a note here. All right, something about the syllabus I want to make sure I say. But I want to walk you through the website and through my expectations and where to find things, when deadlines are, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Where's that function? Okay, there it is. So you can see what I'm referring to in Blackboard. Okay, so here's the home page with that picture of me there saying, hi, I'm me. But, you know, I put this right on the home page underneath my picture, instructions to get started. All right, go to the tabs on the left side of the page. That's to the left of my face in the picture there, under, you know, where it says, I'm Professor Rapetti. So to the left, to your left of that, you see 2020 fall term 2. Term 2 means the winter module, Intro to Philosophical Problems, blah, blah, blah. There's this is Philosophy 70. The section is W06. W is for the winter. There's the CUNY first course number, 17, whatever it is, Kingsborough Community College. And then it's, you know, as I'm moving my cursor over these, they're lighting up. Homepage is what you're looking at over here with my picture and this thing that says to get started. Go to the tabs on the left side of the page. And let me just keep reading that. And first work your way through the documents in the course information folder. That's right below the announcements. All right, normally announcements, I'm going to scroll down, appear right over here. Now in the past, I've done way too many announcements and they just kind of clog up this homepage, and you know, the dates of them and everything, they could be confusing. And if there's too many of them, you might not even see them. So I've been really trying to minimize the announcements, just so there's no clutter on the website, because clutter is distracting, overwhelming, intimidating. It makes it hard for you to find your way around, right? So I thought, you know, I'm going to avoid the use of announcements unless if something changes, I change a rule or a deadline or a policy, then I will definitely send an announcement. I will put it in there. You could click on announcements just to bring up your announcements, or you could just see them down here in the announcements here. I got rid of all the other stuff that you might see on your homepage and other courses, and I even got rid of some of the tabs over here that we're not using. I don't know if there's anything in tools that you need. I left it there just in case some of you are used to using that. But I got rid of Blackboard Collaborate, Kingsborough UJA, Y-U-J-A, and stuff like that over here because I'm not going to use them. Okay, so yeah, so first work your way through the documents in the course information folder. I'll open that up in a minute. There you will find the outline of basic activities document, which is an overview of the course, the syllabus, the deadlines document, etc. I have a document that has all your deadlines in one place. And then in the course content folder, which is the next folder right underneath course information, right? Especially those in the week 1 folder. You'll see in a moment in the course content tab, I have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and week 6, because this is a 6-week class. Even though on the calendar, it's kind of across 7 weeks. I'm treating it like 6 because normal semester is 12 weeks, but sometimes with holidays, it actually chronologically extends into a 13th week, but it's really just 12 weeks. If you did a 3-credit course in a regular semester, you would meet 3 hours a week. And so if you only met 1 hour 1 week or 2 hours another week, they would be tacked on at the end, that kind of thing, in which case it would be over 13 weeks, but still 12 weeks. Same thing here. It's a 6-week semester because everything is doubled. Instead of 3 hours a week, it's 6 hours of work a week. If we were meeting on campus, that's what it would be like. So it says here, there's one folder for each of the 6 weeks. Each week, refer to the folder for that week to keep up with the course. You can do some things early. Now, this is an important principle of the course. Almost everything is open in advance, except the midterm and the final. So you can do anything that's open in advance. Not that it's advisable. I wouldn't go more than 1 week in advance if I were you. And you can't even do everything because there's some stuff that you have to wait until others do it so that you can respond to them. All right. But there's no doing anything late, right? You can do some things early, but no late work can be accepted in a 6-week, fully online, totally asynchronous course. Asynchronous means we never meet at the same time. Some online classes, which I've taught, you meet online, like in a virtual classroom, seeing each other in a video feed live, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 12:40 or something like that. Not here. This is completely asynchronous, so there are no required class meeting times whatsoever. Okay, so good luck. If you have any questions, there's my email, right? I will jump ahead right now and say, look over here where all the tabs are on the left, send email. Please never use that to email me. I wouldn't even use it to email your classmates. You might want to try it, but the way Blackboard is set up, those emails, they get kind of buried in a place where it's hard to find them, and Blackboard doesn't give you notification that you got an email from someone. So never rely on that to email me. Just email me directly. There's my email address right there on the front page. All right, so just email me from your own email program, not from this thing over here. Otherwise, 3 weeks could go by and I won't even know that you emailed me. Okay, so here's all the tabs once again. Home page, that's where we are. Announcements, there are no announcements yet. Course info, so let's go into these now. Course information. So I've got a welcome thing here, right? Welcome to the course information folder, right? And if you don't see text when you open this up, you go to the side here where that arrow is and you click on it, and then it opens up the text, right? Be sure to look through all the documents in this course information folder as soon as possible, ASAP, as they contain virtually all the assignments, deadlines, and instructions needed to succeed in the course and to get started right away. By the 3rd day of the course, that's this Wednesday, right? You already have a reading assignment and a reading quiz based on that reading assignment that must be done by Wednesday night at 11:59 p.m. If you anything you don't understand, by the way, email me and good luck. So then here's this, is there anything in there? No, that's just an informational item. The next one is the, there you go. I'm gonna click the side to open it again. Outline of the basic activities of the course. Right? And then I created a document that says the exact same thing as what you're reading here. And you could click on that if you wanted to print this out, right? But this is only a summary. But after reading all the course documents, which you'll get to in a moment, let me close this down just to show you what else is in here. There's the syllabus, the deadlines document, a list of reading quiz deadlines, a list of discussion board writing assignments. There's the discussions over there on the left. Right? And a list of lecture quiz deadlines. All the quizzes are in the quizzes folder. 2 types of quizzes, reading quizzes and lecture quizzes. And I'll explain those in a moment. Okay, so let's go back up to this and open this up again because it made reference to all of that. So, right, this is only a summary, but after reading all of the course documents, which you should read today, the syllabus, the deadlines document, etc., all the other documents in the current folder that we're in, the course information folder, right? Course information. Your view might be a little different from mine because you have a student view. I have an instructor view. Maybe in a minute, I'll pull up the student view so we can see what that looks like. But every week, I thought it would be helpful, let me get back to reading. I thought it would be helpful to outline what you will be doing regularly in the course in a nifty, easy to grasp manner. Also attaching a Word version, which you can print, and there's that document, right? So every week, there's something extra in the first week, but in every week of the course, including the first week, this is basically everything that you have to do. Like I said, there's a couple of other things in the first week. First bullet, read the assigned reading, and then take the reading quiz based on that reading. And the reading and the reading quiz will always be on a Wednesday. So it says by Wednesday each week, 11:59 p.m. Wednesday night. So the quizzes are all open now. The readings are all accessible now. You can do them today, but you have to finish the quiz by Wednesday night. All right, and then once the quiz deadline is met, that quiz will disappear. You won't even see it. Okay, let me quickly go over and show you quizzes just quickly. Intro to the quizzes folder. Every one of these, I have a kind of intro in all the folders. There's a syllabus quiz. I want you to read the syllabus and take a quiz, proving that you took it. A class contract, I'll discuss that in a moment. And then there's reading quiz, lecture quiz at the end of every week. So the reading quizzes are always due on Wednesday. Then at the end of the week, after you've done everything else you have to do, there's a lecture quiz so that you kind of recap everything and get more credit for that. Reading quiz, lecture quiz, and they're all numbered, and there's 6 of each because it's a 6-week semester, and there's just 1 reading a week, but there's a reading quiz and a lecture quiz. Reading quiz due by Wednesday, lecture quiz is due by Sunday night, okay? Let me get back to course information. And we are in this thing here, going through every week. This is your schedule right here. First bullet, read the assigned reading and take the reading quiz by Wednesday night. Right, I would highly recommend you do the reading and take the quiz right away so you're not confused, you don't forget anything. And it's usually just a 1 multiple choice or 1 true false question just to test and see if you did the reading and to give you credit for doing it. Okay, then second bullet, view the video lecture and PowerPoint slides on that topic. And those are in the week by week folders, which you'll see shortly. Right, so every week I have a video lecture of me talking to you, walking you through what the reading was about and bringing up other things that are related to it and so on. And PowerPoint slides that go along with my lecture. So if you watch the video lecture, you could see the PowerPoint slides on a separate screen if you want while you're watching the lecture so that you really know what the notes refer to when I'm talking and you can keep up with them. And then when you're done, you could just go back and look at those PowerPoint slides and treat them as your notes because those are the notes for my lectures. All right, or you could just watch the lecture and view the notes later, but that wouldn't be as useful. That's up to you how well you want to study. All right, so that's the second bullet. View the video lecture and PowerPoint slides on that topic. Now, I recommend that you do it by Thursday each week, only so that you'll be prepared to do what you have to do on Friday, which is the third bullet. Write a discussion forum essay answering a question about that topic by Friday each week, okay? So you have until Wednesday to do the 1 reading and take the quiz. You have another day to watch the video, which is usually an hour and a half or something like that. And then another day to write your discussion, right? But you could do the video and the discussion early, you just can't do them late. Right, so we'll talk about the discussions in greater detail, but there's 1 each week based on each topic that's in the readings, okay? And then the second part, the discussion has 2 parts. You post your original essay answering my discussion forum question on the reading of the week by Friday, but then by Sunday night, so you have 2 more nights, everything ends at 11:59 p.m. on the nights of these things. Right? I want you to read and respond to at least 2 classmates' own original post essays on the topic and engage in a kind of philosophical conversation with them, saying why you agree or disagree with what they said about the reading. Those are due by Sunday night. And then also due Sunday night is the lecture quiz, which is the recap quiz for the entire week where you did the reading, you took the reading quiz, you watched the video, you looked at the PowerPoints, you wrote a discussion post, you wrote 2 responses to your classmates. So now you've been saturated in this same concept or topic or reading all week. And then you do a recap quiz, which is also just 1 true or false or 1 multiple choice question by Sunday night at midnight, 11:59 p.m. Okay, so that's the structure every week. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things every week. Like I said, there's a little more in the first week because you have to read all this stuff, the syllabus, and familiarize yourself with the website. First week is a little rough in that regard. But then there's a highly recommended. These should be done periodically, probably once a week, but not in any particular order, right? So for extra participation credit, I give you 20% of your grade based on participation. In the discussion forum, there's a student discussion thread where you can initiate a philosophical discussion or continue one or on anything related to the course. And there's a couple of other things in there that you could do. You'll see when we get there. All right, this is just an overview to remind you of the kind of things you should do every week. Right, so if you could do you want a little extra participation credit, enter the student discussion forum at least once a week and do something in there. Check the announcements tabs to see if there's been any changes in the rules or deadlines or any other remarks from me, like feedback about how well or poorly you guys are doing on an assignment. All right, the third bullet is check your grades in the My Grades tab. That's over here. See right underneath final exam, see My Grades, all right? Just so you'll have an ongoing knowledge of your standing in the course. You'll see if you passed or failed a quiz. You'll see what points you got on a discussion board. And if you click on like a discussion forum essay, I might have feedback next to the grade, like, you know, telling you what you did right or what you did wrong. I will also occasionally, as often as I can, interact with your dialogues with each other, and just as if I'm another student or another participant, like in a class discussion. All right, the discussion forum is to try to get a typed version of what goes on in class discussions. That's basically it. And I'm giving you 20% of your grade for the discussions and 20% of your grade just for participating. So the more you participate in the discussions, it's like you get double your monies. You know, you're going to get 40% really altogether. I'll explain more of that later on. So where am I? Check your grades and email me if you have any questions. All right, anything you don't understand, no matter what it is. And I say over here, email me in advance to make alternative arrangements to do anything that you might anticipate you're going to have a problem with, because you know on that day, you know, your mother's having surgery or whatever, and you want to do it a day early or, you know, whatever. So if you have any issues like that, you really should email me before they arise, or right while it's happening. If, you know, your computer crashes or something, you use your phone to text me or something, or email me rather. I'm not going to give you my cell phone number. All right, so let me close that. That's the outline of the basic activities of the course. Just remember, these 5 things are required, and these other 3 or 4 things are highly recommended. Okay, so let me collapse that. And you should collapse these when you're not reading them, so that it keeps your thing neater. Right? The neater it is, the easier it is to have the big picture of what's going on and not get lost in the little details scrolling through endless lines of text. Okay, the syllabus, I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to open it because it's, you know, it's long, but I want you to read it because it tells you all my expectations for the course. You have to read it. You have to open it. If you do, and then you take the quiz, I made a syllabus quiz, you will get credit for having done that. 1 point. The discussions count for 20% of your grade, right? But I put and the quizzes count for 20% of your grade also. But each quiz is worth 2 points. So there's 6 reading quizzes, 1 for each week. That would be 12 points. So that means you can get 1 of them wrong and still get the full 10 points for the reading quizzes. And then there's 6 lecture quizzes, each worth 2 points, which is a total of 12, but I'm only going to count 10. If you get them all right, I'm sorry, and if you get 1 wrong, you can still get credit as if you got them all right, because I'm only going to count 5 of them, right? So they're 2 points each. So if you do the syllabus quiz that I'm mentioning to you, you will get 1 point towards your quizzes. And then there's also a class contract, which I'll show you in a moment. And if you do that, you'll also, you read the syllabus and then you sign the contract. You'll learn how to do that momentarily. You'll get another point. So that's like another 2 points, as if you got another quiz right. In case I forget, I'll just mention this about the quizzes. If you get all 12 quizzes, 6 reading and 6 lectures right, you will have an extra 4 points. 12 and 12 is 24. I will then count them, only if you get them all right. That's like a prize for somebody who got all the quizzes right. So that's an incentive for you to try harder. Okay, deadlines document. Oh wait, let me just open this up and see if I wrote some. Yeah, please read it in its entirety. It explains almost everything in the course, how it works. It's essential reading. It's long, but because it is, I've chosen a very short reading for the first required reading assignment. Yes, to compensate for the fact that the syllabus is lengthy, and also because it will take a day or two for you to familiarize yourself with the website, right? So the first reading is maybe 2 pages long. All right. It'll require you to think, though. Importantly, the syllabus also informs you of 2 things you can only do within the first 3 days of the course in order to receive extra credit. See the attached Word document. So if you click on this, or you click on that, clicking on that won't do it. Yeah, click right on the file. You can open and download the syllabus. You might want to print that out. And the 2 things you can do for the extra credit are the syllabus quiz and the class contract. Okay, so of course, just from hearing my speech right now, you know what some of your classmates don't know, and you could do that and get those points. And those are only points for the diligent who do them by Wednesday or whatever. That's on the deadlines document. So here's the deadlines document, which I'm going to open up. And once again, this is something you can and should print out, but here's the whole thing, right? So you could just always look at it right here by opening up this tab here, which I'm closing, and then opening again, that little arrow. Right? All the deadlines and due dates for everything you need to do in the course are conveniently arranged in this one governing document. They're dated by weeks and dates. It's arranged by week and date in a very orderly sequence. I highly recommend you print it out. And I also recommend that you copy and paste every deadline into your agenda, your calendar, your to-do list, your reminder app, whatever it is that you use to keep yourself on schedule, right? Because in an online course, that's fully asynchronous, meaning you're not going to be speaking to me live. I won't be having a chance to remind you of things. You need to remind yourself. You need to do really good self-management, time management, that kind of thing. And so I would just copy every one of these dates into your thing if I was you, whatever it is you use. And if you're not using anything, you should be. All right, so I said that you'll see weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all identical, except for the midterm at the beginning of week 4 and the final at the end of just slightly after week 6. So try to put a little space there because it's really week 7. But they're all like reading, video lecture, discussion, original post, optional office hours. I put that in there because I'm going to be available at that time. If anybody wants to schedule an office hours appointment with me, email me and we'll set it up, and I'll give you a Zoom link and you could talk to me live like you're doing now. But I just put that in there every week just to remind you that I am available at that time on that date, right? And then discussion 2, where each discussion has 2 parts, your original post and then your 2 responses to classmates 2 days later, and then the lecture quiz. Same structure every single week to make it easy for you to remember what you have to do and get into a rhythm and a pace about it. The only thing different here in week 1 is on the first day, which is Monday, January 4th, familiarize yourself with everything here with Blackboard and Dropbox. I use a Dropbox, which the link is in the syllabus, right? That's where you would get it. Read the syllabus, read the deadlines document, look it over, really get familiar with it, copy all the deadlines and so on. Then January 6th, reading number 1 and reading quiz 1. They're both due. There's the reading, right? And the reading is in the week 1 folder, all right? And then the next day, which is Thursday, asking you to do the syllabus quiz and the class contract. If you read the syllabus when you were supposed to, you'll have no problem doing the syllabus quiz or the class contract. And those are the only new things, right? Familiarize yourself with the website, reading all the documents, and then this on the 7th, there's a syllabus quiz and a class contract, which is just like a 1-question kind of quiz type thing too. And the same place it's where the quizzes are. All right. So, and you'll see it when we go in there. So this is your first week. You got to hit the ground running. All right. Read that thing when you're supposed to read it by, take the quiz the same day. Okay. So that's the deadlines document. Anything at the bottom? No. Okay. Let me close that. Reading quiz deadlines list. Let's open that. It's just, if you wanted to have a list of when your quizzes are due and what the topics are, you forget, you don't want to look at that complicated full deadlines document that has everything in it. Here's all the reading quiz, when the readings are due and when the quizzes are. There's the dates. There's, which number quiz it is, which reading it is. These are the readings. You can print that out if that helps you. I'll jump ahead to the last one. Lecture quiz list is the same thing, and you could print this out. There's the link if you want to. It's the same idea. Dates and topics for your quizzes. And then the discussion board writing assignments. Likewise, you could print that out, but here's where it says all of that same stuff here. So this is, oh, actually, no, right over here, you're just getting general instructions over here. And you need to read this carefully, because if you do the discussions wrong, this is the most important part down here. I'm using an all or none grading method. So up here, it tells you all the things you have to do. Right? You have original essay. It must answer all parts of the essay, question prompt. Write at least 500 words for your essay. Post your essay before you can read others' essays. Otherwise, you'll all be copying each other. And post it by the deadline, right? That's the first part. Second part is your 2 responses to classmates. Typically do 1 to 2 days later, 2 days later. Same instructions as above, except 100 words or more will do. And then there's really important advice in here. I can't go through all of it, and otherwise we'd just be repeating ourselves, but you really need to read this, right? I don't want to accept any late work in this course whatsoever unless you have a really excellent, well-documented emergency or you contact me in advance. So don't do these things late, because you can't come to a class discussion 3 weeks after it happened. That's not a discussion. That's a kind of afterthought, right? Discussions don't work that way. So this is the discussion board. I'm not going to print this out or open this up, because when we go into the discussion board, you'll see them all anyway, okay? But this just gives a nifty little list of all the dates, like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, what the topic is and what the deadlines are for the original post and the follow-up, Friday and Sunday, right? That's all that it does. It names them, right? These are all the instructions. Okay, so now I can close that. And just to remind you, we have been in the course information tab, which has all these overviewing documents. Welcome to the course, the weekly things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you have to do, and the 3 or 4 things that you should do. The syllabus, which you need to read, right? The deadlines document, that's your roadmap for every single due date in the course. And then these are lists of the reading quizzes, the lecture quizzes, and the discussion assignments. Okay, now let's go into the course content folder. And here we're going to see all the weeks, right? That's all that's in here. Week 1 and 2, week 3, week 4. And I mentioned over here includes the midterm. The midterm is not in the week folder, but if you're just looking at the week folders as your schedule reminder, while you're in there, I'll remind you about the midterm. You'll see when I open that up. The same thing about the final. Okay, but now I want to just open up the first one. Just click on that. Actually, let me go back to course content. I want to just see if there's anything in there on the side that yes, okay, good. So you don't have to open it to see. This is basically taken off the deadlines document for week 1. This reminds you of everything, okay? But then you can go into the folder to access the readings and whatnot. So we go into the folder, you've got instructions for this week. I try to put instructions everywhere, just reminding you how to do everything. This is where I walk through everything. Like after reading the course documents and familiarizing yourself with the website, here's what you need to do this week. There's one reading by Descartes, which you should do first, and then go and take the quiz on it, quiz 1, immediately after reading it. Next, do the syllabus quiz and the class contract, both in the quiz tab. That's the quizzes tab over there. Then view the 3 videos. 2 are short, 1 is long, but altogether less than 2 hours in this order: Nagel, Pollock, and Descartes. Now there's 3 videos in this week. The Nagel one is like 10 or 15 minutes. The Pollock one is 10 or 15 minutes. The Descartes one is over an hour, right? But these videos are the equivalent of the 3 hours a week that you would meet me in class. So I always do it less, like maybe half, like an hour and a half altogether, or 2 hours occasionally for the video stuff. All right, but you can pause a video if it gets boring. You could rewind it if you forgot or you weren't paying attention, right? So, but this is one case where there's more than one video, okay? The one PowerPoint in this folder has slides in it on all three of those philosophers that are in the videos, okay? And there might be some overlap between the information in the PowerPoint and in the videos. Some of the videos overlap a little bit in their topics. That's just the way it is, okay? Although the slides may not come in the same sequence as the topics in the videos, you know, the video might begin with Nagel, and it might then, the PowerPoint might also begin with Nagel, but then, you know, the next video I asked you to watch is, where is it? Pollock, which is a very short thing. But in my slides, I think Pollock comes after Descartes, right? So whatever, you'll figure that out. It's not a big deal. Okay. Of course, after you've done all of the above, then go to discussion 1, right? Once you've read the thing, seen the videos and the PowerPoints, then you're ready to make a discussion, to contribute to the class discussion. I give you all the content and the ideas, and then you discuss it amongst yourselves, the students, and I will participate in that discussion periodically. Right, after which you can come back and read other students' essays on the topic and choose 2 of them to respond to, and then respond to them. Right, and then at the end of the week, the last thing you do is you take the lecture quiz after you've learned everything else. And here's the recap again, okay? So now let me close that. And here's the first reading, right? There's the link. And it says the above is hyperlinked. So this tab, if you click on that, it will open the article. I'm not going to do it now. But if that doesn't work, right, a copy is included here. There's the copy. That's a Word document, right? Alternately, you can copy and paste this tab, this URL into your browser. And if your browser doesn't work, try another browser like this: Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Internet Explorer. Sometimes when things don't work in one, they'll work in another. So that's an important clue to remember when you're in an online environment, okay? So wherever I could, I put a direct link in the title. So you just click on that link and it'll open the reading. But if not, I also attached the document that you could print out easily if you want to. Some people prefer to read a hard copy in front of them, right? And I give you the URL, you know, the web link, so that you know, if it doesn't work over here, the same link is there, but sometimes it won't work in Blackboard. You can copy that, open up a new tab, paste it into the browser, and go, and that'll bring it up. Okay, so that's the first reading. And then I've got the PowerPoint, which goes with all of that. But I put that up there first, but it doesn't really matter what the sequence is, right? But you do the reading first, then you take the quiz, then you come back and see the PowerPoint and the lectures. Video lecture on Nagel. Let's see, what do I have in the PowerPoint? Right, I put little notes here, and there's the printout again, and there's the URL again, and whatnot. Explain, everything has a little explanation. Video lecture on Nagel, right? Nagel, how do we know? It's not required reading, but it is in the Dropbox. And there's, like I said, the link to the Dropbox is a place where I keep all the documents that I use in the course, most of them. Some of them are YouTube videos, so I just pull the web links for those. I have my own channel. But some of the videos, I also have hard copies of them, you know, I can just copy the video into a folder. All right, so, you know, read all the little notes. Always open this thing up on the side and read whatever it says before you go into the thing, because I might put some information in there that's important for you. Yeah, there you go, right? This is over an hour long, but it's the primary material for the week, blah, blah, blah. Read these things. Okay, so that's week 1, right? And I put the dates up there. Week 1 is from Monday to Sunday, although Sunday technically begins the week. We call Sunday part of the weekend, right? Rather than the week beginning. So I'm treating the classes if a week is always from Monday to Sunday. Okay, so I'm going to go back into course content, which you could do up there, or you could just do it from over here, right? So that was week 1. Now I'm going to close that. Week 2, I'm just going to open it and show you it's the exact same format, only without that extra stuff in it. And the same thing if you open this up. You've got all the stuff, instructions, the reading, the video, and the PowerPoint. Most of them are very simple in that regard. Go back into course content and close that down. Each of these weeks is the same except the midterm, so I will open that up so you could just see midterm. It's the beginning of week 4. It's on a Monday though, and we normally don't have to do anything until Wednesday in this class. So I thought Monday was a good place because you've got a couple of things you have to do on Sunday. All right, the midterm, we'll talk about that later. I'll just not waste any more of your time. Lastly, the final, there's something else in here I wanted you to know about. I put these asterisks here. And heads up for next week, final exam, right? So there's that. But there's also something else in here. So I want to open this up. Why is it not opening? It's slowing down on me. All right. Good. It opened up. Week 6. Look, there's an extra folder in here. Recommended materials on Johnson and Russell. These are worth looking at for a greater understanding of the problem of evil. Week 6 is all about the problem of evil. Hick, the problem of evil. Okay. But since there's technically a 7th week, which is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the final exam's on a Thursday, we're supposed to do something, but I'm making it kind of extra credity so that you don't have to, if you're run down and studying for the finals and everything. It's optional. Okay. But it could really help you. All right. So that's what this is. And if you open that up, you'll see I don't know why week 6 is giving me a problem. Of course, it's unavailable to students. Oh, ignore that. I don't know why. I'll have to go back and check this later. What's going on here? All right, let me try to just go home. Not good. All right, well, we're waiting for that to come back. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe, no, none of my... It's all kind of frozen on me here. Well, I know what I'll do. I'll stop the screen share and give me a moment. I'm just going to go into Blackboard and I'm going to exit Blackboard and then come back in. That's the way to do it. All right. Sorry about that. I'll have to log in now. Oh, Blackboard can't open the page. I hope it's not one of those things where... Oh, good, it's working. Sorry about the delay here, folks. This will just take a second to find the class. Got so many classes in here that they all stay in here forever. Okay, here's the class. Okay, where was I? I was in course content, and then getting a little warm here. Maybe it's from the stress of the situation. Just hold on a second. Let's just hope week 6 opens up. Let me close that thing first. And now, okay, let me share my screen again after I open this up and see if it works. Okay, okay. So where's my screen share button? Share screen. Here we go again. So let's hope that that worked. Okay. Once again, we're in week 6 and there's this extra folder of recommended materials on Johnson and Russell. So week 6 is the problem of evil and Hick is the main guy, but these 2 other philosophers both wrote articles on the subject. So consider this extra credit work, which will give you, which could boost up your participation grade. Okay. So I'm going to open this up and hope that it opens. Oh, good. It opened up. So here's some instructions, optional reading by Johnson. Why doesn't God intervene to prevent evil? Optional reading by Russell with the exact same title. 2 different philosophers argue for the same kind of negative conclusion, but based on different arguments. And then there's my optional video on both of them and the optional PowerPoints. I wrote optional and everything so that you realize you don't have to do this. All right, but if you do it, then the way that you're going to get credit for it is in the discussion area, which I'm going to go to now. I'm just going to bypass this quizzes for a moment. So over here, I have an instructions tab for the first assignment with all these instructions that you really have to read. They apply to every item in the discussion forum. My all or none grading method, let me say it again. It goes something like this. Since we're in the discussion forum, I'll go into a little greater detail. You have to answer all the parts of the question, because for each discussion topic, I'll ask a question like why, explain so-and-so's argument, explain you know, so-and-so's criticism of his argument, and then explain who you agree with and why, or something like that, right? So say if it might have 3 parts or 2 parts or 4 parts, right? Answer every part, write at least 500 words, and do it by the deadline. That's part 1, your original post. Part 2 is after you post yours, read at least 2 of your classmates' posts, their original posts, and respond to them 100 words each. Right? And not something superficial like, oh, I like what you said. I agree with it. It kind of makes sense to me. I think the same way, because that really doesn't say anything. Engage with them. Say why you agree with them or why you disagree with them, or engage in a philosophical discussion with them like you would do in a philosophy class, right? So 2 parts, original post, 500 words, 2 other parts, responses, 100 words each, roughly. It could be a few less, a few more. But if it's a 500-word requirement and you give me 200 words, that's not acceptable, right? So if you do all of those and you do both of them by the deadlines, then you'll get all the credit. Each discussion is worth 4 points. So the way I break it down in my head is 2 points for your post and 1 point for each response, right? But I don't give partial credit because I want you to do this. The whole point of this is to get you to engage in genuine philosophical conversations with each other about the readings, like I would want you to do if we were in the classroom together, but it's all this way typed instead of this way spoken. Okay, so if you do all of that, it doesn't matter to me whether your thinking would be what I might call A level, B level, C level, D level, or F level, right? Well, F really can't count in this case. But if you get from D to A range, like, you know, below average but passing, all the way up to excellent, you're going to get the 4 points. But you have to do all the things that you're supposed to do. You have to write the essay on time, 500 words, the 2 responses, 100 words each, on time, non-nonsense, not fluff, genuine thinking, serious thought. You'll get the 4 points. Now, there's 1 a week, so there's 6 of these. I'm gonna, like, that's a lot of instruction, so it's kind of scrolls down so you can read that. All right. That's basically all that's going on there. So you scroll all the way down. Here's the student discussion forum where it says, use this for credit toward your participation grade. I have created 3 threads for you to use when entering this forum. 1 for introducing yourself. We'll talk about that in a moment. 1 for extra participation credit available in the week 6 folder. That's that Johnson and Russell guy I was just telling you about. And 1 for random or miscellaneous philosophical discussions that you may engage on your own with your classmates. See within. So you'd have to click that open to see it. But I just want to show you briefly, and then we'll come back to this. Here's discussion 1. Says what it is, says when they're due. Here's the essay. I ask you what I want you to do. And then I tell you about the responses to your classmates, and then some reminders here because it's the first one. They get shorter and shorter in words because by the more you do it, the more you'll know how to do it. Here's discussion 2, when it's due. Here's the due dates again. Your original post has 3 things I want you to do, 1, 2, 3, and when they're due and how much you have to say. Same thing over here. Little reminder, the more that you go back and forth with each other, I say at least 2, but if you have a conversation going with a classmate and you go back and forth with each other 4 or 5 times in a really interesting philosophical discussion, you'll get a much higher participation grade, and you'll certainly get the full points in the discussion forum. Sometimes I might, if I think it's really good, I might even give extra points for that. But if not, I'll just give you the points in the participation grade category. Okay, so these things, by the way, even though they're kind of extra credit, they're going to be, if they're in the discussion forum, the points will appear in my grades, see my grades, as discussion forum post points, right? So I might count them when it doesn't matter where I count them, I will count them. Either I'll count them in there or I'll count them as participation points, or I might even count them as both, you know, depending on how impressed with you I am. Okay, discussion 3, looks a little shorter. Discussion 4, much shorter. Discussion 5, much shorter. Discussion 6, totally short. So now let me go back to the student thing because that's where your extra participation credit stuff is, and click on here. See this number here, 3? There are columns up on top. I have to go all the way up. Total posts, unread posts. unread replies to me, etc. So yours looks similar to that. So you can just look at a post and see how many, like when you've done your first post, right? If you're one of the first students to do it, you can see that nobody else did it. It'll say total post 1, that was yours, right? So you don't wait until it's like 7 or 8 maybe before you read the other ones so that you have some choices to pick from to reply to. Okay, so let's go back down. Student discussion forum. You click on this thing over here. What you see the hand, that means it's hyperlinked. So you click on that with your hand and that opens it up. And I put 3 sub threads in here already. So let me go from the bottom up because it puts them in reverse chronological order, right? 12:11 today, 12:17 today, and then 12:19, right? It puts the latest ones on top. Student self-introduction videos for participation credit, right? So here's something I want you to do for part of your participation credit. And if you didn't watch this video, you might not know about it. Or if you didn't read, through the advice guiding the, introducing you to the course, which tells you to open everything up and review it, right? By opening it up and reviewing it, then you would see this. You see something like this, you click on it and it opens up. And I say, for extra participation credit, which will show up, blah, 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 please respond to this post doing the following. Ideally, do 1 to 3 in print and all of 1 to 4 in a video. So if you can make a video, I want you to make one introducing yourself. But whether you can or you can't, I want everybody to write their name as it appears in CUNY first so that I know for sure that I've got the right student. State your major. I'd like to know what your major is. Right? Liberal arts, nursing, bio, whatever it is, journalism. Create your career plan. State your career plan. I'm curious why you're going to college, right? What are you planning on becoming when you get out of college? And if you're not sure, say what you might be entertaining, but you're not sure, whatever. And then number 4, create a short video, 1 to 5 minutes, describing these 4 bulleted things. Describe yourself by restating your answers to 1 and 3 above, right? Your name, your major, and your career plan. And then why you took this class, right? And what you expect to get out of it. And then most importantly, tell us something interesting about yourself. You're a black belt in karate or, whatever it is. You spent 3 years in the Navy or you just got out of jail, whatever. Okay, the reason I asked you to repeat 1 to 3 in print and in the video is so we can watch the video, but then remember, like when we just look at the thing, we'll see what you printed and remember, oh yeah, that's the veterinary school person who just got out of the Navy or whatever. We'll be able to remember that better. You'll be able to remember it too when you communicate with each other, right? So use the reply key. You would hit the reply key here to, answer these questions and then post it, okay? So that's that. And let me go back to, let's forget how to get out of this easily. So you can just click OK, right? And that'll get you out of it. Okay, so that's the student self-intro video. That's that thing, Johnson and Russell, for week 6. You could do that in advance, by the way, if you want. You just go in and read those early. If you want to do some extra work in advance, when you got some free time, go in and do that. You can do that anytime you want. And then this is miscellaneous student discussion. So you can just open this up and did I click on it yet? Yeah, it's taking a while to open it. Open it up and create a new thread. See, like create thread, right? Go up and create a new thread and you can discuss anything that we've discussed in the class, anything that's in the readings and the conversations, whatever. This is just class discussion, student to student, like when your teacher will break you up into groups for 5 or 10 minutes to say, okay, talk about anything philosophy, that sort of thing. All right, so here, use this thread to open up discussion on any issue related to anything from the course for extra participation credit. Suggestion, give your new topic an attention-grabbing title, right? Like this is the title, Miscellaneous Student Discussions, right? You'll give it a title when you, so that'll get people's attention. And then if it has an interesting title, then people might read it and respond to it. So just for a moment, I'm going to click reply. See that? Don't leave my title in there, right? Put in your title, right? Like philosophy of sex, or whatever. You know, sex is always an attention grabber, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to kick. That's like the title of an email, what you're emailing about. You know, tax day, hurry up, whatever, right? So use your titles wisely. Okay, so we're done with that. And we're going to be done with all this really soon. So let me go back. We did the discussions. Oh, quizzes. So yeah, we go in here again just for a moment because we kind of skipped by the quizzes. Just to remind you, and maybe I'll show you a little bit about what's going on in the quiz category if this thing opens up. But for some reason, my internet connection is not so great. Oh yeah, I'm glad that that came up. Whenever you're taking a quiz, whoops, what did I knock over? Oh, my charger fell out of the socket. Whenever you're taking a quiz or an exam, make sure you have good Wi-Fi, internet connection, battery, cable, charging. All that stuff needs to be in place. I don't want to hear, oh, professor, you know, my computer crashed. It ran out of battery while I was just about to hit the send button on my quiz, you know, that sort of thing. All right. No do-overs. All right. Well, you know, unless you have a really good excuse and a proof, there's no do-overs for anything here or latenesses or anything like that. So here's some, read these instructions, okay? And then here's the syllabus quiz, all right? Let's see, what does it say here? All right, read the syllabus before taking this quiz for extra credit. You'll have 3 minutes. All the quizzes last for 3 minutes. Some of them are for 4. But I say, think 3. You have 1 question. That's all it takes. So when you open it up, don't go to the bathroom and then come back because the quiz will be closed. All right, that sort of thing. That's one. So you click on that, you open it up. I'm clicking on that for fun. And yeah, if you click on any one of these quizzes, you'll see this kind of information before you start it. And then you have to click begin. So you could open up the quiz. It'll tell you how many. This has 3 minutes. Right? It will save and automatically submit when your time expires. That's important for you to know. If you don't pick an answer, it's going to close the quiz after 3 minutes as if you just didn't answer it. No answer, and that's a 0, right? And so on. So cancel to go back. Don't start a quiz until you're ready. And oh, I accidentally opened it. No, you didn't. You had to hit the begin button. You know. So spare me the fake excuses, right? Read all of this before you do it, you know, anything. Introduction to the quizzes, same thing with the syllabus, right? Any one of these quizzes, here's the class contract thing, right? Read the syllabus before taking this quiz, blah, blah, blah. It's almost all the same. We'll open it up and you'll see, here's the same kind of general information about the time, the deadline. You have to consciously, intentionally hit begin to open these things. So don't open it until you're ready, all right? Cancel when you want to go back out. All right, so that's that. And now, once again, you see all of our quizzes are lined up the way they're supposed to be. Reading quiz, lecture quiz, reading quiz, lecture quiz. Reading quizzes are on Wednesday, lecture quizzes are on Sunday throughout the semester, weeks 1 through 6. So there's all of that. Only 2 more things for me to look at. The midterm. You will not actually see the midterm until it's open, all right? I clicked on it. It's taking a moment for it to open, for that tab to open, but there's an instruction document in there, right? Which is important for you to go in and read in advance because it tells you how to prepare for the midterm and even what topics will be on the midterm. Same thing with the final exam, right? The midterm deadline is in, all over the place. On that date, which is the date of the midterm will appear at 12:01 a.m. So here's the midterm instructions and preparation document, right? And all that information is right here, right? That's all there is. So this is not hyperlinked. This is just an info sheet when you open it up, right? Make sure you have a good internet connection. It gives you all this kind of advice. And then down here, it tells you the topics that will be on the midterm and how to prepare for it, how to create notes and study and what you can and cannot do during the midterm. All right, same thing with the final. So it looks almost identical. I'm going to just show you briefly. Same exact kind of thing, right? Click over here. You see the exact same thing, only with a different date and time and different topics over here. Okay, so that's the basic overview of where everything is. I'm going to go back to the home page just for a moment. to show you my pretty face again. Does that look like me? Yeah. That's about it. So I'm going to stop the screen share and take a sip of my coffee. Apologize for rattling off all this stuff quickly, but if you go through all those tabs, course information and course content, quizzes, etc., record all the deadlines in your to-do list, do the first reading and reading quiz by Wednesday, watch the video the next day, videos in the first week, the next day, and the PowerPoints. That's Thursday. And then Friday, begin your discussion, your original post, and then by Sunday, 2 responses to classmates. And the lecture quiz is the end piece for the week every week. All right, so that's the mechanics of the course. Those are kind of my rules and regulations. More rules and regulations are in the syllabus, though, so you really should read that so that you have a better idea of everything, What else? Okay, so that's all the mechanics. So now let me just say a little bit about philosophy and about myself to give you a sense of your professor and what the heck philosophy is and how I conceive of it. All right, so I'm like kind of, I have a PhD in philosophy. I'm a full professor, which means I'm at the top rank of tenure in the college. When you get your PhD, your philosophy doctoral degree, you can get a PhD in anything, PhD in biology, PhD in physics. So it's a philosophy doctoral degree in physics, or you can get a philosophy doctoral PhD degree in philosophy. That's what I have. After you get that, if you get a full-time job on a tenure track line, they hire you with it's like renting with the option to buy a house, right? If they hire you on a tenure track line, that means if you jump through the right hoops while you're in the tenure track, you will get tenure. So I'm one of the fortunate ones who got that. And then after you get tenure, then if you keep doing what you're supposed to do and do more and publish more articles, you can get promoted. Once you get tenure, even when you're in a tenure track line, you're called an assistant professor, right? Once you get tenure, if you get promoted, you become an associate professor. Like I said, you need more publications and whatnot. Then for your final promotion, you become a full professor if you published a book or a lot more stuff and done a lot of work in your field and everything. So I'm a full professor. So you're getting your money's worth out of me. And when I started, I was just a part-timer. A lot of your professors are part-timers. We call them adjuncts. Or some of them are on a kind of like partial full-time employment line, as it's called, a line in a budget. You'd be a full-time instructor who's maybe working on their dissertation, or a full-time substitute where they get hired as a full-timer, but just a substitute for some full-timer who's on a leave of absence or something like that. And those are limited, some of them, whatever. So in any event, just wanted you to know like the world of the credentials of your professor. But interestingly, just to give you a sense of myself as a human being, I dropped out of high school in the 12th grade in the second half of the year, even though I was an effortless A student, because I needed certain credits to graduate. It was a kind of funny little thing. And I wasn't going to go to night school or summer school, so I just dropped out. I took my GED and I was going to go to college that September. I applied. CUNY used to be free. We're trying to make it free again. It was free almost throughout my entire life as a kid until it was my turn. When I got to CUNY, to Brooklyn College, I applied to. I was living in Brooklyn. That's the first time they started charging tuition. I had been working for a few years, so I had money, too much money to get financial aid, but I didn't save enough money to pay for my tuition, so I just couldn't go. 8 years later, I saved up enough money to go back. So I had like 8-year hiatus, an 8-year break between high school and college, during which time I continued working blue-collar jobs, which are the kind of jobs I had. I had every kind of job you could imagine: pizza maker, bartender, doorman in a nightclub, chimney cleaner, welder's helper, busboy in a catering hall, you name it. I worked all kinds of jobs. Sanitation man, garbage trucks helper on private sanitation, oil truck driver, you name it. After 8 years, I finally decided to go to college. It was time. And at first, I thought I would go for computer science. But I hadn't done math in like 10 years because I didn't do math in my last 2 years. We didn't have to. You could pick these 3-year sequences, 4-year sequences. I picked foreign language instead of math or whatever. So I hadn't done it in so long that even though I passed the CUNY assessment entrance test, I don't know if they even still have those, I got right into the next level of math. I was spending like 3 hours a night to do like 10 minutes worth of homework, like 3 problems or something. Because I had to go look at my old math books. I just didn't remember the formulas, right? So I realized, you know, you have to love what you do. I love computer science, and I was good at it. And I always tell my own students and my children, you have to love what you do and you have to be good at it. But it has to, in my opinion, at the time, I thought it has to come naturally to you. That wasn't coming naturally to me. So I loved my philosophy class. So I asked my professor, what can you do with this other than teach philosophy? He said, well, it's a good pre-law major because you're analyzing arguments, reasoning, arguing, debating. Those are the skills that make for a good lawyer. You know, you can major in political science and learn about law and government, or you could become a philosophy major and learn the skills of a lawyer. So I thought, oh, lawyers make a lot of money. They have prestige. I'm going to do it. I got a job in a law firm working on the midnight shift in the photocopy department just to get my foot in the door. I did such a good job that they kept promoting me. I've been a proofreader. I became a paralegal assistant and then a litigation paralegal. But after working with lawyers throughout my undergraduate education, I decided that I didn't really want to work with those kinds of people for the rest of my life because I had a different kind of moral compass than them. I was always cheering for the underdog that this big corporation would be fighting against. So I thought, I'm going to take out a lot of student loans to get through law school. And then I'll have to be fighting these big corporate law firms to try to help some little guy. I'll be in debt for the rest of my life. It'll never work. I just said, nah, it's not for me. So when it was time to go to either law school or grad school, I chose grad school and became a philosophy professor. So that's a little bit of my history. A couple more things about your professor. I'm a 4th degree black belt in Shotokan karate for many, many years. I think I got that belt level in 1997. Just a few weeks before I was about to take my 5th degree black belt test, my sensei shut the dojo down, retired, and moved. I was so angry because I had passed every test. I had never failed a test. So my style only goes up to 5. There are versions of Shotokan that go up to 10, but mine went up to 5. So the 10 one breaks each one into 2 rungs. Mine, that would have been it for me. I would have been at the top. So there's that. And I've also been practicing meditation and yoga for 40 something years and teaching it for over 20 years. And I often teach my students, and I have weekly meditations on campus, which if you're interested in, remind me, and I'll put a link up somewhere that you could attend those. I wrote my dissertation. When you get your PhD, you have to write a dissertation, which is a book-length treatise on a subject. I wrote mine on free will. And ever since I got my dissertation done and got hired full-time and everything, I've been publishing on free will and meditation and how meditation can actually increase your free will. Those are my main, I mean, I've written about a number of other things too, but that's my main area of scholarly interest. And because Buddhists are really like kind of expert meditators, a lot of my research and scholarship is also about Buddhists. I'm also what's called a philosophical counselor. Philosophical counselors are something like psychotherapists, only, you know, psychotherapy is a kind of talking therapy where you just talk out your issues with people. But so people will go to psychotherapists if they're going through a divorce or if they have anxiety or whatever, for a variety of human problems. So some of those are psychological problems. So they're appropriate for a psychologist, but many of them are appropriate for a philosopher. Like if you're not sure about what decision to make in life, should you stay married until your children grow up, even though you can't stand your spouse? You know, should you have a career change? You have a loss of faith, or you have doubts about your religion or whatever. So these are philosophical issues that aren't necessarily involve psychological problems. They just kind of really conceptual problems or philosophical problems or problems dealing with your values and your beliefs and your judgments and your decisions, right? So philosophical counselors are like psychologists for philosophical issues, so to speak. So I do that. I got training in that. I'm certified to do that. I have a bunch of clients who I see on Zoom from around the world, from California to the UK to Australia, you name it. That's interesting and fun. My website is a place you can go to find a lot more out about me. It's www.rickrepetti.com, RICKREPETTI. And I talk about philosophical counseling there, and I have all my recorded meditations there, and all sorts of other things are there. So that's basically your intro to me. And I'll mention one other thing about me. I grew up in the housing projects in Astoria, Queens, which was a pretty rough and dangerous place. So I got into many, many more street fights there than I ever got into in the dojo. That was before I learned martial arts. I learned fighting on the streets. So I grew up on like the other side of the tracks. I have relatives who had very close ties to organized crime based on my ethnicity. You've heard of that group, the mafia, right? So I mean, I grew up knowing a lot of those people. I spent many years of my life living in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, which at the time was an almost all immigrant Italian neighborhood. Excuse me, now it's very mixed, large Chinese population and other ethnic groups moved into that neighborhood. But so I have like a kind of really totally, ghetto projects, truck driver, yoga, meditation. Yeah, I grew up in the hippie era a little bit, so I have that psychedelic history as well. So I'm a mixed bag. Welcome to my course. I look forward to reading your philosophical ideas, particularly the first one, your very first discussion, in which I ask you about your philosophical beliefs. But I ask you to relate them, if you can, to the first reading in week one. You'll see when you read the discussion board assignment. All right, so, and I also look forward, I really hope that you can record a video of yourself, whether you do it on your phone or you could use Zoom, as long as you've got a camera, whether it's on your phone or on your laptop or your, whatever you call it, the tablet or your computer, whatever it is, a webcam, as long as you have a camera, you can take a selfie video briefly saying like, hi, I'm Rick Repetti. I'm a philosophy major. My career plan is to become a lawyer. And here's one interesting thing about me, like, oh, I'm a 4th degree black belt, or I'm a high school dropout with a PhD or something like that, right? Why I took the course, I'm the teacher, so why did I choose to teach this course? Well, because it's an intro to philosophy problems class, and I love teaching students who probably have never taken a philosophy class before, but even if you have, you're still a freshman or a sophomore, you're a young student, and so you have a kind of open mind, and I like to engage in philosophical dialogue with other people, as you'll see. So please do upload a video if you can. If you can't, then type it out. But it would be nice if we started using that feature. I mean, maybe if that works and a number of you do it, we can think of other ways in which you could have maybe some of those discussions that you have on the discussion board. If you're interested, maybe some of you can meet in Zoom, which is free, zoom.us. You go to Zoom, you can have 45-minute free sessions on Zoom. It's very easy to learn and use. I'm using it right now just to record myself. So you could use Zoom just to record yourself. It's really easy to learn. But maybe a couple of you can have little group discussions or whatever for participation credit. All right, sorry if this went on long. I hope that everything made sense. If it didn't, by all means, let me know. Email me, rick.repetti@kbcc.cuny.edu. I believe I told you not to use the send email function in Blackboard. Don't use it. I don't get those emails. At least I don't know about them. All right, have a great day. Welcome to the course. I'm here to help you. Reach out to me at any time. All right, have a great day.